Welcome to St. Francis High School, home of the Lancers, for today's ball game between the Bellarmine Bells and the home team Lancers. I'm Paul Cunningham, joined as always by Casey McGuire. We are just about to get underway for Bellarmine. They'll lead off their designated hitter, Cameron Cole. He'll be followed by Justin Wilson, Andrew Slorp, Matt Goodson, Kevin Smith, Matt Holder, Darren Gamal, Andrew Sweat, and Michael Glom. As we wait for the Bells to retrieve their bucket, as it somehow migrated over to the St. Francis side of the field, and it's not migration season. Alex Perkins on the hill. First pitch swinging is Cole, and he lifts it into center field, where J.J. Barcy is there to make the snag for out number one. Defensively for St. Francis, Casey?
Alrighty, ball left to right in the outfield.
Well, let me try that there.
Yeah, with your microphone, it's a lot better, yeah.
It's okay, I'm new at this. Defensively for the Bells, for St. Francis, Jimmy Buckley, Jonathan Barcy, and Danny McCarthy left to right in the outfield. Manon Meta, Josh Lansford, Daniel Descalso, and Mark Hoff left to right on the infield.
Again, first pitch swinging, again lifted out to center field, and Barcy is flawless for out number two.
The battery for St. Francis behind the plate, Brad Hoagland, and on the mound, Alex Perkins. And Alex is liking the way this game has started. 2 pitches, 2 outs.
Keeps that pitch count down.
Absolutely. He's on pace for 21 pitches total in the game.
I would guess that, knowing Gary Cunningham coach team, that there is no way in heck that Andrew Slorp is going to swing at this pitch. And he takes for a strike, 0-1. Looked like a pretty good pitch to jump on, too. Perkins works quickly. Curveball in there for a strike, 0-2. 2 outs, nobody on, just underway here on Higgins Field. Curveball out of the strike zone, and they say he did go around, and the tag is made at home plate as Slorp went a little too far on it, and very quickly Alex Perkins has gotten through the first inning. We've played 1 half, Bellarmine nothing, St. Francis coming to bat. Bottom of the first inning, the batting order for St. Francis. They'll send up their third baseman, Manon Meda. Jimmy Buckley bats second. Josh Lansford is in the 3 spot. Danny McCarthy bats fourth. John Barcy, the center fielder, is in the 5 hole. Daniel Descalzo bats 6th. Mike Ribeiro, the designated hitter, will hit 7th. Mark Hoff in the 8 hole, and Brad Hoagland bats 9th. Defensively for Bellarmine, around the outfield, Darren Gamal is in left field. Justin Wilson is in center. Andrew Slorp is the right fielder today. On the infield, Kevin Smith at first base. Andrew Sweat at second base. Matt Holder is the third baseman. Michael Glom at shortstop. Behind the plate is Matt Goodson, and on the mound is Paul Gonzalez. Manon Meda steps in for the Lancers. So the Lancers 2-3 in league play and trail the Bells by 2 games. The Bells with a 3-1 league mark. First pitch swinging is Meta, so both teams coming out very aggressively. Meta fouls that one back.
Both these teams fairly jumpy to start the game, as Perkins threw 5 pitches in the first inning, and Meta swings the first one here in the bottom half of the first.
0-1 the count to Meta. Pitch rides in high for a ball. Count evens 1-1. Beautiful day out here at Higgins Field. Leaves have returned to the trees, and spring is in the air. Spring has sprung. Breaking pitch that doesn't break much and certainly doesn't go down. Rides in for a ball. 2-1 the count to Meta. That pitch at the knees for a strike, and Meta takes umbrage to that call, but that's certainly not going to change it. The count evens 2-2. Breaking pitch, loop towards right field, and a nice running, jumping catch by Andrew Sweat. Retires Meta for out number 1. It'll bring up left fielder Jimmy Buckley. Pitch rides in high, ball one to Jimmy Buckley.
A looking breaking ball by Gonzalez there. Had Buckley moving out of the batter's box and then just broke in just a bit inside.
Buckley hitting .380 on the year and lifts this one into right field. It's sinking quickly and drops down in front of Andrew Slorp. He makes a nice chest stop. Get it back down to the ground. And Buckley is on board with a one-out single. Brings up shortstop Josh Lansford, who is leading the team with a .478 batting average.
.478 will lead a lot of teams.
Correct, Amundo.
Great day today. Nice little breeze towards the outfield.
Beautiful day for baseball. Pitch misses well outside to Lansford. 2-0 the count.
The breeze, as it normally does here at St. Francis, blowing out towards right field. Towards the end of the day, it'll start to shift over to left field, but hitters ballpark down the line, but into center field it dies.
Way to know the microclimates here on the Lancer campus.
It's been a while.
Breaking pitch in there for a strike. 1-1 the count. I think I said 2-0 on the first pitch, and that is just mathematically impossible.
I've watched many a game here at St. Francis.
As much as Josh Lansford would love to see a 2-0 fastball, you can't do it on the first pitch. Breaking pitch, rides in high, 2-1. Lansford with only 5 strikeouts on the season. So he puts the ball in play, potentially a good hit and run man. See if it's on here. Good count to go on, 2-1. No action, and he takes a healthy cut at that fastball on the outside corner. Evens the count 2-2.
Very healthy. I think Josh has single-handedly switched the wind direction.
It's going to left now a little earlier than anticipated. Breaking pitch grounded in the hole and through into left field for a base hit. Buckley will round second, and now he'll try a late jump for third, and he's in there with a burst of speed. Buckley comes around to third. Lansford is at first base, and the Lancers are in business with runners at the corners and 1 out.
Just a good heads-up play by Buckley. He saw the opportunity to move into third base with 1 out, and now McCarthy just needs to put a ball into the outfield. Probably will score Buckley from third. Good heads-up base running by St. Francis.
Danny McCarthy, the left-hander, steps in, playing right field today, batting .368. And Paul Gonzalez in trouble. This is lifted into left field and should plate at least 1 run. It's hit awfully deep, and 1 hops, 2 hops up against the fence. Easily scoring as Buckley. Lansford is chugging around third, and he's easily going to make it into home plate as Darren Gamala in left field had trouble even picking that ball up. Lansford all the way from first base comes around, and St. Francis jumps out to a 2-0 lead on a 2 RBI double by Danny McCarthy.
Well, good job by McCarthy to take that outside pitch, put it into the gap. You'll see here another great job base running by St. Francis. Josh Lansford had this play in front of him. He was at first base, so he could judge whether or not either outfielder was going to get to it. About halfway down, he realized that they weren't going to, and he took off and was easily scored from first base. So 2 good base running plays by the Lancers, resulting in 2 runs in the first.
J.J. Barcy steps in and takes a curveball for a strike, 0-1. So the Lancers wanted to jump out to an early lead, and they have done just that here in the bottom of the first inning with 2 across and a runner still in scoring position with only 1 out. Pitch on the inside. Misses for a ball, 1-1. Gonzalez checks the runner at second. Pitch to the plate, catches the corner for a strike. 1-2 the count. Some of the crowd behind home plate disagrees with that call, but it just painted the black.
Paul, I'm finished with my scorecard.
Well, you know, I'm happy to hear that. I know you had to take your sister down to the airport.
Yeah.
And, you know, family things come first.
A little late to the game today.
Pitch breaking ball breaks well out of the strike zone and would have plunked a left-handed hitter. County of it's 2-2. I've been over to Capitola today, Case. I've come back over, had a nice lunch by the beach.
Wow.
It was beautiful, bud. Beautiful.
I went to school.
Yeah, well, you know. Got to do your duty. Grounded to third and
Fair ball.
foul ball.
Oh, no.
As it's ruled by our home plate umpire, and Chris Bradford is not happy with that, and Chris is arguing that it hit chalk. And
wow, we have, from our broadcast spot, Paul, we have a great view of that grounder down the third base line, and it bounced over third base, and it even bounced fair past third base, I thought.
well, he rules it a foul ball. We'll take another look at it, Casey,
Take a look,
and
see if we can
can.
Good view of it here. Yeah. Chris Bradford certainly thought it was fair, and so did everybody else on the Lancer bench. And we looked at the umpire right away, and it looked like he was kind of indecisive to start with. And he kind of just threw up the foul ball. So, tough break for St. Francis.
The 2-2 rides in high, ball 3. You know, I've always wondered if the lack of having a dirt path down the baselines has any effect on an umpire's ability to call a fair or foul ball. I mean, I would not think so, but
You never know.
sometimes that dirt can help a little to see things, too. That one's fisted right back to Gonzalez. He's going to go to third and out at third base. As it looked like the tag was a little high as Danny McCarthy, but the ball beat him, and I think that's what the umpire called. The ball was there first, so the runner must be out.
Well,
2 outs, and Barcy's on a fielder's choice.
2 good pieces of base running to get the Lancers 2 runs, and I think a bad decision right there by Barcy to take off to third,
That
or by
was-
McCarthy, rather.
You're absolutely right. That was not the brightest of moves to take off for third on that one right back to the pitcher. Daniel Descalso steps in. Takes a pitch low, ball 1.
And it wasn't like that ball was sharply hit up the middle either. It was kind of a slow roller, so.
Descalso hitting .261. Only a sophomore. Throw over to first, and back in time is Barcy. Barcy with good speed. Throw over again, back in time again is Barcy. Late arriving crowd today, but such a lovely day. It's just going to keep increasing. What else would you want to do on a Friday afternoon? We'll watch baseball.
Exactly. I mean, there's something else to do.
Pitch is high, throw down to second is in time to get J.J. Barcy. Is an excellent throw by Matt Goodson. Pegs Barcy, and that will do it for the Lancers in the bottom of the first. We played one complete. St. Francis in the lead, 2-0. 4, 5, and 6 hitters scheduled for Bellarmine. Matt Goodson, Kevin Smith, and Matt Holder. Alex Perkins out to work his second inning of action. Staked to a 2-0 lead right now, and that pitch misses somewhere for ball 1. Ripped into the gap in left center field. A long run for both outfielders, rounding first on his way to second, and not the fastest of runners. The throw comes in, and he's out at second base as Matt Goodson, the catcher, had visions of double. Will be credited with a single, and he's gunned at second.
Good job by the Lancer outfielders getting that ball in a hurry. We'll see here on the replay, that was shot up the gap in the left center field. And a great job by the center fielder Barcy to hustle over there. A good tag applied at second base by Descalso, and a nice job by the Lancers.
First pitch to Kevin Smith, misses low, ball 1. Smith, the Bellarmine first baseman. It's this one bleeding into center field, but Barcy with good speed. It's over there to make the catch for out number 2. So J.J. Barcy getting a lot of activity here in the early going. He's already caught 3 fly balls, and he's got himself an assist.
Yeah, well, that was one of those plays that it looks easier than it really is, because Smith had a huge rip at that, but he hit it off the end of the bat. So Barcy's initial reaction was to move backwards, then had to sprint in and make the catch.
Curveball to Matt Holder in there for a strike. Holder hitting .382 as Bellarmine with only 2 batters in our lineup that are batting below 300. Curveball again. Breaks outside. Count evens 1-1.
I think Brad Hogan behind the plate needs to hold that pitch just a little bit longer. Might get that call from the umpire. Kind of got it quick back to the pitcher there.
Well, he moves around back there pretty well, and he did line up pretty outside, but that one is fisted into center field and down for a base hit as Barcy's not going to be able to get that one. So the second hit of the inning for Bellarmine, but Goodson retired when he tried to stretch a single into a double and was unable to do so. Darren Gamal, the left fielder for Bellarmine, steps in. 2 outs, runner at first base. First time we've seen Perkins from the stretch, and first pitch swinging is Gamali. Pops it sky high to left field where Jimmy Buckley is. He makes the catch for out number 3. That'll do it for the Bells in the top of the second. We've played 1.5. St. Francis 2, Bellarmine nothing. Daniel Descalzo will step back in as J.J. Barcy made the last out at second base. So Descalzo with a fresh count here in the bottom of the second inning. Paul Gonzalez will wind up the pitch and rip right back, and Gonzalez just does get his head out of the way before it was separated from his body as Descalzo smacked that one right back up the box.
Well, that's what you're taught. Go right back up the box, and a good job by Descalzo. He had to keep an inning alive last time, but he got left at the plate on the throw out, and now he had to start an inning, and he did a good job of doing that.
So leadoff single by Descalzo brings up designated hitter Mike Ribeiro. Ribeiro, a .294 hitter on the season. Gonzalez's pitch. Bunt attempt is missed. Snap throw down to first. Descalzo is back in time. As Ribeiro going for the sacrifice, couldn't get it down. 0-1 the count to Mike Ribeiro. Low and away for a ball. Count evens 1-1. Curveball away. 2-1 the count. Mark Hoff waits on deck for the Lancers. Throw over to first and back in time.
Descalzo started his move towards second base as he was going on the pitch.
A little closer than anticipated.
As Chris Bradford points to his head, then to his eyes, saying, watch the pitcher.
And think. Pitch in there for a strike. Count evens 2-2 to Ribeiro.
I think that might have been a hit and run play there. Ribeiro didn't take a cut at it. It was 2-1.
Oh, the runner didn't go either.
Yeah, he was about halfway, but got back when he didn't swing.
All right, I missed that out of the corner of my eye. I apologize. Oh, he rides in, and Ribeiro just does turn out of the way. Counts full. Nobody out, runner at first base. Full count to the designated hitter, Mike Ribeiro. Throw over. They got it picked. Descalzo was drifting.
Nobody at first.
Nobody at first. And Descalzo will get back in, and that's a rather poorly run rundown. As the pitcher didn't cover, the right fielder didn't come down, and there was nobody there. Well, Descalzo, nice job getting out of it.
Paul Gonzalez, the pitcher for Bellarmine, threw the ball to first base and picked him off, and then he figured his job was done. kind of hung around on the mound to make sure that the play went all as planned. And when the first baseman had to get rid of the ball, you'll see here, first baseman had to get rid of it, and there was nobody at first base. You see Gonzalez running the show, but there's nobody covering first.
And that will upset a coach.
Now,
Yeah.
Paul, if you know what's good for you, induce a double play.
Yeah. Swung on a missed strike 3.
That'll
Could
work.
be a... Oh, that'll work just as well. Catcher Matt Goodson started heading for the dugout, but then realized there's only 2 outs. It's a strikeout throw out for the Bells. 2 down, and it'll bring up first baseman Mark Hoff off a 263 hitter.
Well, Descalso and Barcy, 2 of the St. Francis fastest runners, and Goodson threw him out without trouble.
Fouled at home plate.
So impressive by the Bells catcher so far. I mean, both of those throws were there. Good 2 steps before the runners were.
Well, Goodson with an extremely quick release, just comes up firing.
Yeah, that's 95% of a good throw from a catcher is how fast you can get rid of it. And he can do that.
Gonzalez back to the windup. That curveball misses outside. Count evens 1-1. Lifted towards the gap in left center field, and they were playing around, and over the fence it goes for a ground rule double for Hoff as the Bellarmine outfield had shifted well around
That's a lucky
to the
break.
right side as if he was not going to be a pull hitter, and that came back to bite him.
Well, Gary Cunningham is known for having unusual outfield placements, and that was one there as the left fielder, Gemmel, was way over down the third base line, and the center fielder, Wilson, was way over in right center, and there was a huge gap in left center field. And fortunate for the Bells that bounced over the fence because that was a definite triple for Hoff, if not more. They had a ways to go to get to that one.
And I'm not saying that Wilson would have had it, but if he'd been playing straight away, at least he would have had a shot at it.
It would have been close.
Brad Hoagland, the catcher. First pitch to Hoagland, rides in high, ball 1.
It definitely would not have been a no-doubt double,
No.
or a no-doubt double
No.
when it left the bat like it was.
Sometimes I think Gary Cunningham reads the baseball book like upside down. He does things, but they work for him. He's a very successful coach, very good high school coach. 1-1 the count to
Yeah, it's
Brad Hoagland.
one of those situations where you can question what he does, but the man just flat out wins baseball games, and
He
that's
does.
nothing that you can argue with.
That's right. Well, both coaching staffs, St. Francis coaching staff too. A lot of wins between these 2 head coaches.
You can, it's like the scoreboard chant when you're taunting people in basketball. You can question what he does all you want, but when he busts out his record
Yeah.
at Bellarmine,
Yeah.
there's not much else you can say.
2-1 the count to Hoagland. Fouled at the plate. Count evens 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The dugouts will begin to gyrate. There's Gary Cunningham now as you see his players behind him gyrating because of the 2-2-2. It's a strange ritual the Bells do.
A lot of people do it now.
I know, it's both teams doing it. And in there for strike 3 as the mojo works better for the Lancers than it does for the Bells on that one. Or works better for the Bells, I guess,
There
than the
you go.
Lancers. It's that dyslexia thing. That will do it for the second inning. We've played 2 complete. Lancers in the lead 2-0. Top of the third inning, and everybody at home knows what that means. It's time for Casey McGuire to take over.
All right, thanks very much, Paul. 8-9-1 for the Bells here in the third inning. St. Francis up 2-0. Just a gorgeous day for baseball here at St. Francis.
The mailman, Terry Ward, has entered the building. He hangs out when Casey McGuire has to work or go to school or do homework or laundry or whatever.
Sleep.
Sleep. Yeah, that's important too.
0-1 to Sweat, lined in the left center field, a base hit. That's going to get over the head of Josh Lansford, and that's twice now that the Bells have gone straight over the head of Lansford and into left center. So a leadoff base runner for Bellarmine. Their first leadoff base runner of the game, as Matt Goodson hit a double or hit a base hit to lead off the second inning, got thrown out at second base, and a great job by Barcy in center field. Hoagland comes out to give a sign as to what the Lancers will do on a bunt, I would imagine.
Bunt coverage, yes, exactly.
As now Josh Lansford is giving signs to nobody
That
who's
nobody's
looking.
paying attention to him.
No signs of bunt from the Bellarmine ninth hitter in the order.
Well, a try for a potential pickoff play there is Descalso came flying over, and a ball comes in out of somewhere. I guess maybe they had the bullpen up for Bellarmine because that thing just came whistling in.
So 1-0 to Michael Glom. Michael doesn't square to bunt again and takes another ball. 2 balls and no strikes here in the third inning.
Well,
St. Francis picked up 2 in the first.
You would kind of anticipate that maybe the number 9 guy would lay one down. He's got a 286 average, which isn't bad. Not bad for a number 9 guy. But
Perkins sets 2-0 on the way. That one is knee high for strike 1. That didn't have to be strike there for Perkins, but a nice help out by the home plate umpire. A good assist. A very quick throw to first, but just wanted to let you know that I'm still paying attention by Perkins. Two-one, bunted down the third baseline, a great bunt. This is going to be a base hit, looks like, for Glom, and it will be, as Manon Mehta was not playing in at third base, not anticipating the bunt on a 2-1 count for some reason. And I think St. Francis had a play set up where Mehta was going to stay home anyway, and he had to field that because it was coming right at him.
there was nobody else there to take it, and Perkins did a nice job getting over to third base to cover up so that Sweat didn't come all the way around from first.
So the Bells have something brewing here in the third inning. 2 men on, nobody out, and we'll see if Cameron Cole now bunts to try and get 2 men in scoring position. He takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Cole flew out to left field his first at bat. He's hitting .333.
So a good hitter, but conventional wisdom says bunt, as now it's 0-2. And as we've pointed out before, Gary Cunningham has no idea what conventional wisdom means.
He knows what unconventional is.
True. 0-2 pitch by Perkins, fouled at the plate, almost a swinging bunt by Cole, but it kicked behind, and Hoagland was able to block it.
Well, Cole aggressive. That was well out of the strike zone. He was fishing for that. As out at second base, Sweat is trying to flash signs into Cole. That was really picked up on that.
Cole chases a pitch outside of the zone, and he stays alive.
Cole refuses to take pitches.
Well, he took the first 2 for strikes.
Says the instruction
curveballs.
manual with this bat says to swing it, and that's what I'm here to do.
Maybe
Don't
he just
ask me to take. Leadoff guy who doesn't take.
doesn't like the curveballs, definitely. Likes those fast ones. Perkins sets, checks both runners, and another one. Fouled back to the screen.
So the count would be full right now if there was any patience on the part of Cameron Cole. But he's still stuck in an 0-2 hole.
So Perkins working hard on Cole, the 0-2 pitch. Curveball in the dirt off the shoulder of Hoagland, and there's your bunt.
Exactly. And I'm shocked that Cole took it. 'Cause that would have been ball 4.
So a wild pitch on Perkins. And now the Bells have 2 men in scoring position with nobody out, as opposed to 2 in scoring position with 1 man out. Perkins needs to get a strikeout here on Cole. A strikeout or something on the infield, although the Lancers have the infield back, so they're going to try and cut down on the big inning here for Bellarmine.
They're willing to give up 1 in order to keep the lead.
Although Mehta kind of playing towards the line, the Lancers a little more up the middle. Big hole on the left side. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Great job by Perkins as he set up that pitch on the outside with a curveball in the dirt and then froze Cole on the 1-2 pitch.
Alex Perkins with an excellent shot. Another look at it as he just painted the black with that one. A laser beam fastball that Hoagland just held out there so the home plate umpire could see it, and down goes Cole.
We talked about that earlier, Paul, as Hoagland didn't really hold the pose, as that time he did. And if you set up even if you're off the plate a little bit to the outside, if you set up there and the pitcher hits the target, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get that call. First pitch, another good block by Hoagland, as that time he kept it square in front of him.
That saved a run right there.
The Bells known to be aggressive, so they would have at least tried, and when you try, anything can happen. Lots of things start to happen. Pitch misses low and in. 2-0.
Wilson, the leading hitter for Bellarmine, batting in the 2-hole. So again, going against the conventional wisdom is.
Pitch misses low. 3-0. And the 4-pitch walk to Justin Wilson loads the bases for the Bells. Meeting at the mound and a meeting at third base.
2 caucuses have broken out on the field.
As now the outfielders will now they won't. They'll hang out. The umpires run in and have a chat together. Let's make sure the camera people don't leave their posts. As there you see Chris Bradford.
As well as Lou Lucas, the grizzled veteran, the Don Zimmer to Chris Bradford's. How come I can't remember the Yankees manager?
Joe Torre?
Yeah, it's him.
The mob boss.
I had a mind block there. I just
So bases loaded for the number 3 hitter, Andrew Slorp, and this is a big moment in this early ball game. Or early in this ball game.
Something
Perkins
like that.
Sets. He'll go from the stretch with a runner at third and takes a pitch outside, 1-0. Slorp is 0 for 1, struck out swinging in the first inning.
Corners are up and middle infielders back for the double play.
That one just missed on the outside corner. Perkins wanted it. So did Chris Bradford and Chris Volta, but it was a little away. That one is laced to deep left field. Turning and watching it is the left fielder Buckley. And that's 4 for the Bells. That call was a no-doubter.
They may have to fix the scoreboard as it may be crushed.
So the Bells come out to greet Slorp as he greeted that Perkins fastball. It was about belt high, right in the happy zone.
Another look at it, and it was a fastball, as you say, out over the plate, and
Ooh.
jumping on it was Slorp, and you'll see the scoreboard rattle right about then as the ball put a dent into it. That never got, it was a laser beam out there.
First pitch to Goodson is up high, ball 1. So 4-0 Bellarmine. They have gotten, 4-2 Bellarmine. As Goodson swings and misses, 1-1. So when you're hitting third, as Slorp is in the highly offensive-minded Bellarmine Bells lineup, you know you're not going to miss a pitch like that too often.
No, you're not, and that's why, maybe that's why Slorp's at the 3-hole, because he certainly deposited that quickly over the left field fence. Though it did come right back.
It did.
Because it hit the scoreboard hard enough to come back
After the scoreboard fell over,
they're propping
the
it
ball
up
came
now.
right back in.
Almost came back to shortstop, I think.
2-1 misses high and outside. And Paul, we go back to that 1-0 pitch that just missed the outside corner and really changed the at-bat because he had to come in with a 2-0 fastball, and there was no doubt about it.
Well, but it's not like the Lancers can't come back in this ball game because they've had runners on in both of the first 2 innings. Now, they've had some difficulties running the bases, but they've had men on, and this game is far from being over.
So a walk to Goodson. The first walk of the game given up by Perkins. Pitch to Kevin Smith, misses high.
Richard Kozaglow warms up in the Lancer bullpen.
And warming up like he's got somewhere to go. That one, a gift. As a check swing on a high outside fastball is poked foul, 1-1. Smith 0 for 1, flew out to Barcy back when the Lancers were in control.
Which seems just like moments ago.
And it was moments ago. It was actually about 5 minutes ago. Big hanging curveball, catches the outside corner, and Smith shakes his head, wanting that one back as that kind of hung up there. Curveball lifted into right center, Barcy. Moving over, puts up his glove and says he's got it. And there's 2 down here in the 3rd inning. So 2 flyouts to Barcy for Smith. And now with 2 outs on a runner on first, Matt Holder will step in. Matt 1 for 1, had a base hit in the 2nd inning. So the Bells have pushed 4 across here in the 3rd inning. And lead it 4-2. But we have seen some memorable games here between St. Francis and Bellarmine.
Yes, we have.
Speaking of comebacks, I remember about 4 or 5 years ago when my brother was playing, the Lancers came back from 8 runs down in the 9th inning, in the 7th inning, I believe it was. Somewhere around 8 runs. In what amounted to be one of the best games I've ever seen.
In another 10 years, it'll be a 13-run rally.
True. And I'm sure I'll be here for that. 1-0 pitch. In there. Strike 1, 1-1. There's a great crowd on hand for St. Francis Bellarmine, as there always is. A lot of sunbathing going on. Although the breeze is picking up ever so slightly, which is good for us non-sun types.
I love a warm day.
1-2 to Holder. Fastball just missed the outside corner as 8 of the 9 Lancers made a lunge towards the dugout. And that was a little bit closer than the outside pitch that was not called on Slorp. 2-2 curveball, swung on a miss, strike 3, and the inning is over. But not after. The Bells pick up 4 runs on 3 hits. No Lancer errors, 1 runner left on base. After 2.5, it's Bellarmine 4, St. Francis 2. Bottom of the 3rd inning, St. Francis needs to put some runs on the board to respond to the Bells 4 that they got in the 3rd inning. It'll be the top of the order in Meta, Buckley, and Lansford. So the guys you want up there, if you're St. Francis and Chris Bradford, as like you said, Paul, this game is far from over, so no need to rush.
Only the 3rd, and as we said, Lancers have had base runners every inning, at least 2. Well, had a little difficulty, though, on the bases.
Meta's 0 for 1. He lined out softly to Sweat at second base in the 1st inning, and he this time gets a little bit higher and drops in there for a base hit in center field. So Meta does what he's supposed to do in that leadoff spot, gets on base, and here come the Lancers.
Set the table for the big boys. Another look at it, and once again, going to the right side of center field, put that one basically up the middle, blooped it in there. It was very similar to his first one, just hit a little further, and Wilson unable to come up with it in center field.
So Gonzalez looks in now, working from the stretch with Meta at first. Pitch misses low and in, 1-0. So Gonzalez got into some trouble in the 1st inning, and thanks to a caught stealing by Goodson, got out of it. And a leadoff base hit in the 2nd inning, and thanks to a caught stealing by Goodson, nothing amounted from that. Pitch to Buckley, outside corner. Buckley shakes his head as he backs out of the box. Probably wanted that one.
It's a nice pitch.
Gonzalez sets. Did he go around? The umpire behind the plate says he did. 1-2. Looked like he went.
Yeah, he went around on that.
Or nothing if not objective.
We do our best. to be-
Sometimes our best is a little shaky, but
Some people scoff at our best, but at least it's our best.
exactly. Meta gets back into first base and now takes his lead again. 1-2 to Buckley. Not a very good running situation, but you never know. Gonzalez sets.
Oh,
That one got him right in the back, and that was an off-speed pitch that got away. So Buckley gladly takes it.
yeah, with a 1-2 count. You can hit me on the shoulder. Little breaking ball. So we roll that shoulder in and take one for the team.
That was one of those pitches where you saw it coming, and you're like, yes, that's going to hit me.
Yeah, I'm out of the 1-2.
Now, if it was a fastball, it would be more like, and then yes, on the way to first base.
When pain is a game.
Now Lansford, who can do some swinging of his own. That one misses low, I suppose, to Josh.
That one's
1-0.
Didn't miss much. That's where you want to keep it on Lansford. I think you want to keep it down there.
Yeah, you don't want to come up shoulder high or letter high on Josh.
Dangerous hitter, and Chris Bradford works his way down to the home plate umpire with a question.
Now, down by 2 runs, Paul, conventional wisdom would have you do one thing, but Josh Lansford will have you do the other if you're Chris Bradford. You look up there and you say, no, I'm not going to tell this guy to square around, I don't think. As Bradford directing traffic as people now have to get back in the dugout because he knows who's up and there's not a lot of reaction time.
Too many people out on his field.
They're killing the grass. 1-0 to Lansford. Dangerous pitch here. That one, you can tell danger was on the mind of Gonzalez as that curveball was nowhere near the zone.
And he's almost to the point where, well, you know, if he gets on, he gets on.
So 2-0 to Lansford. Ooh, nice change up there by Gonzalez. Lansford way out on his front foot. And it's 2-1. Still a dangerous spot right there. A little bit up in the zone, but Josh was fooled by it.
Well, 2-0, he's looking for a pitch he can drive, and he wasn't going to have to go oppo with that one.
2-1 pitch. Fastball. Misses the outside corner, and now we see a pattern developing with the umpire, and as long as he keeps that pattern, it's going to be okay, but as he's missed now 3 outside corner calls. So if he's not going to give that outside corner, you're just going to have to make the adjustment. You can only complain so much, Paul.
Exactly. So again, Lansford will look for a pitch he can drive.
3-1 pitch. And he walked him. There's that outside corner again. He tried to go for it. And now the bases are loaded for McCarthy, and now Gary Cunningham will come out and make a change. So a pitching change for the Bells. The Lancers have the bases full. Nobody out. Gonzalez leaves. A lefty coming in from the bullpen. We'll be back. So Kevin Scholl thrown into the fire with the bases loaded and nobody out. And Danny McCarthy, a very dangerous hitter, steps in. McCarthy has double and 2 RBIs today. So Cunningham playing the percentages and going with the lefty-lefty, and first pitch plunks him, and that's not going to be anything to cheer about in the Bellarmine dugout.
No, but Danny McCarthy with a gluteus maximus RBI.
And Danny's one of those guys who probably isn't too happy he got hit. He likes to swing the stick. But nonetheless, he's got 3 RBIs today. It's Danny McCarthy, 3, and the Bellarmine Bells 4.
Well, bases loaded, a run in for the Lancers, and only 1 hit to show in the inning.
Now Barcy with the bases loaded and nobody out. First pitch is hit deep into left center field. Back goes Gemmel. He's at the wall. It's going to be in front of the wall. Take a bounce. One run's going to score. Lansford's going to hold up. And now we've got 2 runners at second base for St. Francis. Barcy is tagged out as confusion reigns supreme on that play.
Well, and you got to look in front of you.
Yeah.
Can't just watch the ball. You got to see in front and what the runners are doing, and they were holding, making sure that that ball was not going to be caught.
Hey, take a look at the replay, Paul.
Another look at it as it's hit well into left center field. I thought it was going to be out here. A dive by Darren Gamal coming in to score is Buckley, and suddenly there's 2 runners at second base, and Barcy's going, we can't do this. We got to quit meeting like this.
The first pitch to Descalso is fouled away, and that's a situation where you hate to point blame at one individual, but that was
Barcy.
all Mr. Barcy's fault, because he really, what happened was both runners had to hold up and see if the throw was going into the out, if the catch was going to be made. McCarthy waited for Lansford. Lansford waited for Buckley in front of him, but Jonathan just kind of kept on running there, and that's not what you can do. So nonetheless, he did drive it around. It's 4-4. That one down the line, a fair ball into the corner. That'll score 2. On his way to second is Descalso. No, he'll throw on the brakes, but a 2 RBI base hit for Daniel Descalso, and the Lancers pull back ahead. It's 6-4.
And that was an excellent job by Descalso going with the pitch. It was right out over the outside corner. Descalso put it right down the left field line. No doubt about that one. Another look at it as just an excellent piece of hitting. Holder with a dive, but couldn't get anywhere near it as that was by him in a hurry. And Descalso has himself 2 RBIs.
So the Lancers respond in a big way, and the first pitch misses outside to Ribeiro. It was kind of a knuckle curve, looked like. Had a knuckling motion, but it was moving away.
Well, this could turn into an offensive marathon game.
It's a good thing daylight savings time was last week.
Yeah, this is definitely going to get into, at least the way it's going right now.
So 4 runs across for St. Francis in the third, just as 4 runs were across for the Bells in their half of the third. Pitch to Ribeiro is way outside, and Scholl has not really shown command of any of those pitches just yet. As going back to that Descalso base hit down the line, Paul, that was very tennis player-esque. Kind of just served it out and down the line. He threw the barrel out there and kind of rolled it down the third baseline.
Working on his backhand.
Yeah,
and
great job of hitting right there. You love to see that. Anybody can tank one off the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Pitch is swung on a miss by Ribeiro as Scholl very deliberate to the plate. One of those pitchers that sacrifices speed and strength on the mound so he can keep his legs straight and not have to go behind his knee and possibly pick somebody off. Swung and he missed strike 3. Ribeiro down on strikes for out number 2. Now Mark Hoff. I'm going to point out Scholl's leg kick. Just keep an eye on him. He keeps his leg parallel because once you break the plane of your other leg, you have to go to the plate. So he holds his leg as straight as possible for a possible pickoff play. Now working with a little bit of a slide step as Hoff takes a strike. Hoff has doubled in the second inning. He's 1 for 1. Pitch on the way. In the dirt. Blocked by Goodson. Now might have a play at first. He decides to hold on to it. As Matt Goodson, Paul, has shown me some stuff behind the plate today.
Wisely, the Lancers have quit challenging Goodson behind the plate also.
So Hoff steps back in, 1-1 count. That one fisted down the right field line and shakes some more allergies into the air. Hits the trees down the line.
Allergens, I would think they would be.
You know. They're what I like to call them.
Okay. Exactly. You make up your own, it's your own language, Case.
If I like
Live with
allergies,
that. That works.
I'm going with it.
You go with it.
If you don't like it, send your complaints to Lazarus Sarginides, care of KMBT. 1-2. Grounded towards second. Sweat takes it on a high hop. He'll go the short way to second and retire Descalso. So St. Francis responds with 4 runs of their own on 3 hits. No Bellarmine Bells errors. They will strand 1. We'll head to the 4th inning. St. Francis 6, Bellarmine 4. 6, 7, 8 for the Bells here in the 4th inning. Matt Holder will lead things off. Correction. Darren Gemal will lead things off as Holder struck out to end the inning in the 3rd as it's 1-1 to Gemal. Darren is 0 for 1, flew out to left. Curveball misses away. And Perkins definitely likes to establish that curveball as a pitch he likes to go to, but he hasn't been able to get it over here in the last couple innings. Fastball. Ooh. A little help from his friend behind the plate. 2-2.
4th inning, this is Jim O'Malley inning, Casey.
That one is looped into left field. That will fall in there, little Texas leaguer. And Gemal has his first hit of the game. He is 1 for 2.
Just had to get that in there quickly, that it's the Jim O'Malley inning. Okay, I'm done with it.
Since we're getting things in there, congratulations to the Pacific Division champion San Jose Sharks, by the way. Just to get that little cheap plug in there for
We're not going to have to talk about the Mets, are we?
my team. No, we'll just talk about the Sharks. Gemal at first. Pitch is fouled back, and where are you going, my friend?
You know what? That's a good point. Why
That
am
is-
I moving my head when there's a fence right in front of
There's a
me?
fence right in front of you.
I'm
my
embarrassed
friend.
now.
Yeah.
I'm totally embarrassed.
Leave the broadcast
I'm leaving
area.
right now. That's it. I'm done. I'm through.
What am I going to do with you? Curveball. Nice job of holding up by Sweat. Sweat is 1 for 1. Andrew Sweat, the second baseman.
Another baseball out of the field as the Bells having a difficult time in their bullpen hanging onto the baseball.
Well, it's a funny thing what those gloves are invented for. They're not just to hold seeds. 1-1 pitch on the way to Sweat as Perkins steps off and tosses the first. A lot of people here today. I like it.
Yeah, well, Bellarmine, it's a rivalry.
Not as big of a rivalry fan-wise as it is for football and basketball, but still, if you talk to the players, it's as big as it gets. 2-1 pitch. Popped up. I would have had it.
Well, unfortunately, baseball never draws as much as basketball or football, and to me, that's disappointing. I mean, it's the American pastime, for gosh sakes.
It's
Get
the
out here and
greatest
watch
game.
a game.
It's the greatest game ever invented. Let's not pull any punches.
Let's not
here.
sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
Your best athletes play baseball.
I don't care what you tell me.
You have
Hit
to
a
do,
round ball with a round bat takes skill.
You have to catch. You have to throw. You have to run.
That one is hit well to left center field. Going back is Buckley. He turns and watches it sail over the 340 side in left field. And just like that, we're tied again, 6-6.
Well, don't go away, folks, but definitely go to the fridge because this is going to be a long one.
So Andrew Sweat is 2 for 2 with a bomb and 2 RBIs.
Another look at it, and a little breaking ball that gets out over the plate, and Sweat lifts it high into the air, and it just does go over the left field fence for the home run. And we are tied at 6 here in the 4th inning.
Well, I mentioned that prevailing wind that starts to shift in the left field as that one is poked deep into right, but playable for McCarthy. 1 away. I mentioned that wind that shifts in the left field, and it appears to have shifted as it is definitely blowing out to left now, and that one got up in that jet stream, I think, Paul, because I didn't think that was gone off the bat.
I didn't either. That thing just kept going and going and going. And again, I acknowledge your knowledge of the microclimates here at Lancerland.
We are in a Mediterranean climate, so the wind shifts without warning.
Now you're starting to make me nauseous.
That one is lifted deep into right. McCarthy going back, still going back. He turns, and that ball is out of here. And that is some power. I don't care how you hit it. So Cameron Cole puts one out into right field, an opposite field home run. It's 7-6.
Wow.
That is talent right there.
That is difficult to do from the right side of the bat, and he got all of that whack. As the Bells are thoroughly pumped now as they forged back into the lead. Another look at it, and it was on the outside part of the plate. Cole just did a great job going with the pitch, put it out over the right field fence, and Lee Volta's out there in a hurry. And Richard Cosglow, hustling back down to the bullpen to get loose yet again.
So Chris Volta meets with his players at the mound. And
I'd say Lee.
No, that's okay.
That's his dad, I think.
I'm not one to point out your mistakes.
Well, yeah, you are.
You see Cosglow warming up, not with the fury which he did in the third inning, as that pitch almost went onto the field, and that's not a good sign. But it doesn't take long to warm up on a nice day like today.
In my car. Hang on.
So if you missed the beginning of the fourth inning, it's now 7-6 Bells, not 6-4 St. Francis.
And this game's not over. I mean, both teams, again, continue to put men on base. It's going to be a slugfest.
So here's Justin Wilson, who, after 2 massive home runs in the inning, unfairly squares the bunt.
Wants to play small ball all of a sudden.
And a good idea by Wilson to get on base for Slorp, who I think the scoreboard is shaking out there, Paul, as Slorp is on deck. If you missed his home run in the third inning, I'm sure you heard it Friday afternoon at about 4 o'clock.
It reverberated throughout the campus.
0-2, up and in, 1-2. I would like to point out how exciting the game has gotten since I have taken over the play-by-play.
As is always the case.
Not one to
Casey.
toot my own horn,
Oh,
but
of course not.
Toot, toot. As that one was fouled off the hand of the umpire, who should learn to keep it behind him.
That caught him on his strike hand, too. Now, I don't know if that's going to mean he can't call strikes anymore, but
as that will be the end of every argument from here on out.
man is now in pain, and now he's ornery. He's like a wounded bear.
I don't have to be out here hurting myself.
He is getting paid. He's the only guy out here getting paid, though.
True.
Well, actually, I'm still on duty, so.
Wow. Lucky.
That's a nice thing.
I need somebody at work to punch me out after the game's over.
That's a nice thing about salary.
True. 2-2 as we digress.
Yeah, we do.
Always.
Mind wanders midway through a game.
Grounded towards third. Meta on 2 hops. Has a strong arm and shows it off to first. 2 down here in the fourth. And that will bring up Andrew Slorp. Andrew today has reached the highs and lows of a baseball hitter. Struck out in the first and hit a grand slam in the third.
Well, 3 home runs on the day, all by the Bells.
Curveball dangerously hanging up in the zone. Taken for strike 1. If you're going to do that, Mr. Perkins, you need to get that a little bit lower for Chris Volta's liking. 0-1 outside corner. First one we've seen there.
Wow. And that was a generous corner. I think he thought that the stripe on the inside stripe on the left hand of the batter's box was the plate.
1-2. We're not one to get on officials, but that was horrible. No.
Well, that looked. Though he owed him one.
True. 1-2 to Slorp. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Struck him out. A big rip by the Bellarmine right fielder. Shrugs his shoulders as he moves out to right field. So Bellarmine picks up 3 more on 3 hits. 2 of them left the yard. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth. It's Bellarmine 7, St. Francis 6. Bottom of the third inning. Correction, bottom of the fourth inning. We have not gone back in time. Do not adjust your television sets.
We have taken control.
Josh Hoagland to lead things off for St. Francis as he rips one into left center field, and here we go again.
Oh, what these teams would do for pitching. It's a slugfest.
So Meta now steps in. Manin on the day is 1 for 2.
The staff ERA is 2.83 for St. Francis, but they're not showing it today.
Perkins came into the game with a 1.05, but that's not going to stay there, I don't think.
That's been boosted a little bit. He's pitched 33 in the third coming in, and
he was 5-0. Still could be 5-0.
yeah, this game far from over.
So Perkins definitely the number 1 for St. Francis. Pitch to Meta up high, 2-0.
People still arriving for this game, Casey. Must be the detention students working their way over for
2-0 misses low, 3 balls and no strikes. Well, the rare occasions that I got a detention, Paul, I always liked it when it was game day because you used to have to go pick up trash, and I would always volunteer for this area of the school. Doing my part to clean up the community.
And catch a ball game.
And eat some seeds. 3-0. In there, 3-1. And watching and listening to the Giants game when they played the Dodgers the other day, Paul, and I love the John Miller Vince Scully impression, if you've ever heard it.
He is excellent at it. And I think the jury's out on Mr. Joe Angel.
No, you don't
So
like
he sounds a lot like John Miller.
He does sound a lot like John Miller, as we are going to have ourselves a pitching change. So a 3-1 pitch missed outside from Shoal Meta, and that was all Gary Cunningham had to see. A new arm coming in for the Bells. We'll be back. So a slew of changes for the Bells here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Into pitch is Andrew Slorp. You might know Andrew Slorp. He just struck out to end the last inning for Bellarmine. He comes in from right field to do the pitching. Going into right field is James Rossi. Rossi will probably be DH'd for, is what we're assuming. Mitch Ponza also came into the game, replacing Darren Gemmel.
Well, you better be ready with that, because I mean right with that, because I put ink on my...
No, I guarantee it's correct. As Kevin Smith comes down to say hi to Jimmy Buckley, as Buckley scored around a bunt. And now the umpires are confused, as they're obviously not in a hurry to talk to each other either. Thanks for speeding the game up, gentlemen.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to ask if he won a round or if he lost. It's only the first pitch to Buckley.
The Jeopardy theme plays in my head.
Yeah.
As I think they were just hungry. Maybe the base umpire had some seeds or something. Talk about later. There's no explanation to anybody really as to what that was. 7-6, Bellarmine. Lancers threatening. Buckley squares.
Oh, well, that was well inside.
My goodness, that was a close one. That could have done some serious damage to Buckley, and now Jimmy thinking twice
look
about
at it. Yeah, that was,
Well, I'll give Buckley credit because the first instinct is to duck out to the left, and he ducked out to the right as that one was behind him.
Almost jumped over to the left-handed batter's box. Well, I don't think they're going to dig in on Slorp real soon here.
So Buckley steps back up after changing his pants in the dugout. No. That's an exaggeration.
Okay.
Buckley squares again. Good luck, my friend. That one is shot down the line, and Slorp is not an easy man to bunt on, as he throws hard and high in the zone.
Well, and the Bells have crashed from either side of the infield now. First they had Smith come crashing down, then they had Holder on the second to last pitch come crashing down, and they're back to Smith. trying to disrupt the bunt attempt. We'll see if we're back to Holder's turn to crash.
2-1 to Buckley. Fisted towards third. Could have had the guy at third. Throw to first. Scoop, not scoop. Buckley's going to be safe. Everybody's safe.
Wow. You're absolutely right, Casey. He had a huge opportunity to go and just go over and step on third base, and he didn't.
So it's got to be an error on the throw, as now the base is loaded for Josh Lansford here in the 4th inning.
Another look at it, Casey. We'll see it here. It's grounded straight to him. And Holder came up with it cleanly. You just had to run back to third, and it would have kept a runner off of third base with less than 2 outs. But now it loads up the bases for Mr. Lansford.
And the thing I worry about and I wonder about is Holder was going back to third base to step on the bag, but changed his mind. I wonder what it was that made him change his mind. Nonetheless, a showdown here at St. Francis. Slorp from the windup. Josh backs out, calls time. Good job by Lansford. We move at my pace, he says. So a battle of 2 heavyweights. Slorp and Lansford going at it here with the bases full, nobody out. First pitch, curveball. There's some respect for Lansford's ability as an off-speed changeup in for strike 1. Bases juiced, nobody out. Lansford at the plate. He is 1 for 1. That one up in the zone, hitting to right center field, could be trouble. Over there is the center fielder Ponza. He makes the catch. 2 runners tag. And a good job by St. Francis on the base pass, as now Buckley is going to move up to second base on a bobble on the cutoff throw.
Smart move by Buckley to move up on that, as first baseman Kevin Smith very slowly went after that ball that he muffed. And that allowed Buckley to move up, and a nice sac fly by Lansford.
And I think what's going to happen here, Paul, is we're going to have an appeal at first base to see if Buckley went back and tagged first base, because what happened was he was going halfway.
2 umpires, 3 bases. That's going to be a tough
It's going to be
tough
a tough
one to
call
pull
to
off,
persuade, yeah, but you never know. And now Gary Cunningham, I think a high school rule is it's just got to be called. You don't really have to.
Well, I think the umpires told him too. It's like, listen, we're watching third, we're watching second. You know, there's only 2 of us.
Exactly.
We can't watch first too.
So, nonetheless, a sac fly, RBI for Lansford. It's 7-7. Runners at second and third with 1 out. McCarthy takes high. Danny on the day is 1 for 1, has a hit by pitch and 3 RBIs. That one is lifted. Could bring rain. Glom makes the catch. So a high fly out to the shortstop.
That was tremendous hang time. And McCarthy just flung that bat, and nobody, I guess, saw it as he flung that thing right up against the first base fence.
Was that McCarthy that threw it? I didn't. I heard the bat go against the fence, but. So 2 outs and 2 runners in scoring position. Now Jonathan Barcy takes a pitch up in the zone that he wants back because that was drivable. Slorp still in the windup. 1-0 pitch is popped foul over our heads.
Well, the Bellarmine outfield again playing around to the right. Center fielder Mitch Ponza was well over in the right center on the pitch, and Barcy went right up the gap in left center field his last at bat.
Yeah, still shaded over towards right center, and another big gap in left center field.
Though Slorp does throw a little harder.
He does. Off speed, right back up the middle of base hit. Here comes 1 run. Here comes Buckley. The throw is going to be in time, and they got him.
That was just a great play by the Bells. Excellent, excellent play.
And on a play like that, Paul, like you mentioned, you got to tip your cap. That was an unbelievable throw. A great job by Goodson to block the plate, and the inning is over.
Another look at it. As you see it taken right back up the middle. Charging it is Ponza. He comes up firing. And nice job blocking
Wow.
the plate by Goodson, too, as he got that foot out in front of home plate, forcing Buckley to try to go around him. And down goes Buckley, and down go the Lancers.
So 2 runs across on 3 hits, 1 error. No, make that 1 runner left on base. We'll head to the 5th. St. Francis 8, Bellarmine 7. So if all goes as planned, we'll see 3 runs from the Bells here in the 5th. As a great play to end the bottom of the 4th inning. And Paul, we were talking in the break about this man, Matt Goodson, and how he has played a whale of a game behind the dish.
He is a tremendous defensive catcher. He's fun to watch back there. He's got a great arm. Blocked the plate extremely well on that play at the plate.
And that's a tough situation to do because the throw was high. And to keep your leg firm on the plate and block it, going to be a tough play for Meta. He's got a catcher running, and a good job by Manon Meta to throw across the diamond in time to get Goodson for the first out of the inning.
That was an excellent job by Meta. He kept his feet moving behind the balls. He waited for that awkward second hop because you never know what's going to happen after that high hop, what the next hop's going to do. And it took a nice one for him, came in chest high, and he just fired it across the diamond.
So 1 down. And now Kevin Smith steps in. Kevin is 0 for 2. Heads up Jonathan Barcy because they've been flyouts to center both times. Pitch in there, 1-1. Going back to that play at the plate, Paul, that a good job by Goodson, as we mentioned, to stay strong on that leg to block the plate because 9 times out of 10, a catcher will get his leg taken out from underneath him on a slide. And some good strength shown by the Bellarmine catcher.
Well, Buckley tried to go around him and just get his hand over onto the plate, slide away from him, but
that got me excited. That got
Good
both
to-
of us
I could
excited.
tell.
We pitch right up the middle, takes a high hop off of Lansford. He's going to throw, not in time. As Lansford displays that strong arm of his. Still not in time to get the runner. Take a look at the replay. Bounced up the middle and took a high hop off the arms of Lansford. So a runner at first with 1 out. And now, with his first at bat of the ball game,
good for us.
it's going to be Vince Castro, it looks like. No correction, it's going to be just a 4, not a 14. It's going to be, hey, not his first at bat of the game. It's still Matt Holder. The confusion was the pinch runner that went into the game at first base, and now I am all out of whack.
Who's the, what's his number, Case?
Number 5. And that is going to be, as we search the non-numerical roster we were given.
They don't have a number 5. Oh, here he is, Ralston. He has no first name, though. He just goes by the name Ralston. His mom's name is Cher. His dad's name is Prince.
Wow.
He just goes by Ralston. For today, just call me Ralston.
So Matt Holder steps in.
I don't know where I'm going
He
with
is
that.
1 for 2. Well, that was mass confusion while you were away for a second.
I had a phone call. We have
That's
a jury
okay.
out.
No problem.
We have a court case finishing up today. How did that guy get on at first base, Case?
Well, it was a tough play. It was a tough hop at second base, and I'm still debating whether or not to give Josh an error. And you weren't here to help me.
It was a play at second base?
It was a play up the middle, and
Yeah.
Lansford took a high hop off
Yeah.
the shoulder, and could have made the play
Bad hop
if not
single.
for the hop.
Bad hop single.
So we'll give it to him. It's not like Mr. Perkins is going for the no-hitter here. Grounded towards Meta, could be deuce. Second 1 to first, double play. Lancers turn it nicely. Some defense displayed by St. Francis. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We'll head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. St. Francis 8, the Bellarmine Bell 7. It will be 6-7-8 for St. Francis here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Take a look at the replay at the end of that last inning. A nice double play turn by St. Francis, went 5 to 4 to 3, and Meta got it started off quickly at third. And now Descalso right back up the box. Slurp is going to have to hurry, not in time. He threw it away. And nobody is backing up the right fielder, and Descalso is off to the races. He's at second. He's on his way to third. Now the right fielder gets to the ball. Descalso will hold up at third base, a two-base throwing error, and St. Francis has a man at third with nobody out. So Descalso started it off by shooting one up the middle off of the foot of Slorp, and is naturally, as always occurs, it seems like, a hard hit ball hits a fielder and immediately they look up. Slorp looked up in the air, couldn't find the baseball, finally discovered it was at his feet, threw to first and went wide, and thanks to the right fielder being somewhere around Panama, Descalso was able to go all the way to third base. First pitch grounded through into right field, a base hit. Ribeiro uses that drawn-in infield to his advantage. It's 9-7.
Well, jeepers, Case, I step away for a second.
Well, you missed a whole heck of a lot, my friend.
All heck breaks loose. What did you give Descalso on that?
Descalso has a base hit and then a throwing error to go to third base.
That's exactly what I showed.
And Ribeiro, with an immediate base hit to right field, paid dividends on that throwing error. It's 9-7. Here's Hoff. He's first pitch swinging and fouls it back.
And Casey, I still don't think this game's over.
No, not by a long shot.
We got a very good verdict in our trial, Casey. So
That's good. Obviously very important.
Well, it was. That's the only reason I would ever leave a broadcast is to take a verdict.
Especially a broadcast such as this is, St. Francis and Bellarmine here. You get much bigger. You know that, though. It must have been huge.
We beat up Farmers Insurance, and that's always good.
Well, it's 9-7 here. And it's 1-1 to Hoff. Mark on the day is 1 for 2. Reached on a fielder's choice and reached on a double back in the first. Correction, back in the second inning. Ribeiro gets his lead. Pitch to Hoff is lifted deep in the left center field. Going back is Ponza. Still going back. It's off the top of the wall. Ribeiro never hesitated around second. He'll hold it third as Mark Hoff hits one off the top of the wall, 370 or so. And St. Francis now has two runners in scoring position with nobody out.
Well, another look at it, and Slorp not able to get an out yet as that one darn near goes out of here and into the soccer goals. They double off the wall. Runners at second and third for the Lancers.
Hey, let's go, Bills. Let's go, guys. Let's see some defense now. Defense.
My Bellarmine fan calling for defense, but
No way
the way
to
they're hitting the
defend that
ball.
one.
Yeah, the ball. It's tough to play defense.
Josh Hoagland steps in. Josh is 1 for 2. Popped up a bunt.
And it was not a squeeze.
You flinched.
No, I didn't. I looked up.
Okay.
Wanted to see who was coming over to get us.
No, I would have had you. Although last year, the ball went over the
Sacrifice the monitor for.
the monitor wore it. Has the infield drawn in again for Bellarmine? When Ribeiro was up with the infield in, he softly tapped a base hit through the first and second base position. Foul back, not a flinch on my part. Didn't
on
even
mine.
move.
Okay, I'm in mid-season form.
Well, years of being a catcher is kind of
Well, you better not move.
has gotten the nervous system a little bit
with
out
two,
of whack.
With two strikes, the Bellarmine outfield well around.
And where do you think they're going with this pitch? Now, I never understood that because they always shifted the outfield way over. We're talking way over. You can't really see it on camera, but there's two men in right field and nobody in center field.
And it tells you where the pitch is going.
Exactly. And it's never been close. That pitch misses outside, 2-2. The pitch has never been close, as I was mentioning, to being anywhere near the plate. So all it really does is tire out your center fielder.
It makes your pitcher throw another pitch.
2-2, they're coming in. Grounded off the plate, back to the mound. Nobody's going anywhere. Back to third goes Ribeiro as Slorp throws on the first, this time successfully, for out number 1. So now Manon Meta will step in. And Gary Cunningham comes out to talk to his infield. I think they're going to stay in here, Paul, and they should with only one out. And the guy at third, Meta, on the day is 2 for 3, had 2 base hits, and has scored twice. Huge gap in left center field. Curveball in for strike 1, and you might want to watch out here, Paul, for...
The heck is the center fielder?
He's behind the umpire.
Oh, all right. There's a bigger umpire than I am.
Might want to watch out here for a possible squeeze because there's a quick runner at third in Ribeiro, and Meta can control the bat well, but like we mentioned earlier, Slorp is difficult to bunt off of.
Yeah, you see him over there and even moving a little further over towards right center field.
And the left fielder is almost towards the line in left field, so 1-1 to Meta. Grounded back to Slorp again. Ribeiro this time broke, and now he's in a rundown. And they're going to toss it to Goodson. He will tag out Ribeiro for out number 2.
That was a nice play by Slorp as Ribeiro broke, and they got him in the rundown, and finally
One more now.
got him out. Let her look at it. You see Slorp freeze him, then run at him, which is exactly what you're supposed to do. Ribeiro broke for the plate, and Goodson did a nice job with the tag.
It'll bring up Jimmy Buckley. Jimmy on the day is 1 for 2. He was hit by a pitch, reached on an error, and scored once. First pitch. Oh. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, well, no, some people are disagreeing with that. And I'll go with the masses.
Slorp comes to a set, the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Buckley looked a little out of his league right there. Not a very good hack.
Was not a good swing on Buckley's part on that one. Little tentative. Now Gary Cunningham wants to make a quick trip to the mound with an 0-2 count and 2 outs.
You know, Gary has always picked a good time to break the stride of a pitcher. He is cruising here to Buckley, and now comes out and slows him down. Maybe Gary saw something. He might have been balking or something like that because he didn't want that run to come in. This is almost like a timeout when your team has gone on a 10-0 run by the offensive coach. Is now.
Oh, a basketball reference. Okay.
There's the thanks. There's the 2 right fielder position that we've talked about earlier.
We've talked about that before. They're both out, one on the line, one in right field. So this pitch will be outside in the left-handed batter's box. No need to swing at it. Fake throw, and they got him picked.
Man.
Oh boy, that is frustrating for Coach Bradford because and he takes him out, and he can't, and he's out of the game. Markhoff is out, and Markhoff, that is not the brightest of moves.
So Hoff will go for an early shower as he lowered the shoulder into Goodson, something you can't do not only in high school, but also college, if I'm not mistaken. Take a look at the replay.
Look at it.
He was dead to rights.
They throw back to third. You can see Hoff in the run. The throw comes in. He lowers the shoulder, and right into him he goes, and that hurt his shoulder, too, running into Goodson. Goodson lays the ball at his feet and heads back in.
So St. Francis picks up a run on 3 hits, 1 big error. We will head to the 6th inning. It is 9-7 Lancers. Well, tempers are flaring here at St. Francis Higgins Field. 6th inning we go, and you know what that means. It's Paul Cunningham time.
Casey, alert the cavalry. We might need him here. Top of the 6th inning. The Lancers clinging to a 9-7 lead. Perkins out to work his 6th inning of action. And action it has been in this ball game. 16 runs already pushed across in 5 innings. Just a little further to go. Pitch in there for a strike. Count evens a 1-1 to Mitch Ponza. Just check that. James Rossi, as I thought Casey McGuire would fool me with the batting order change. Pitch to Rossi in there for a strike. Count goes to 1-2. Breaking pitch just does get a piece of it. One and two the count to Rossi, top of the 6th inning. Nobody out, nobody on. Perkins from the windup, breaking pitch, just misses. Count evens 2-2. time called by Rozzi as Perkins just begins his windup. Fastball fisted out towards center field and dropping down for a leadoff single. James Rozzi on board will bring up second baseman Andrew Sweat. Sweat is 2 for 2 on the day with a couple of RBIs, a single, and a big fly ball. And Chris Volta will make another trip to the mound to tap the gas gauge on Alex Perkins. And he tapped it. The needle did not move. And that'll do it for Mr. Perkins. We'll have a pitching change, a break in the action. St. Francis in the lead, 9-7. Richard Casaglow comes on in relief of Alex Perkins, and it's Casaglow's responsibility to try to keep Mr. Perkins undefeated on the season. First pitch in the dirt, blocked by Hoagland. Can't find it at his feet and does. Holding at first base is Rozzi. Andrew Sweat, the batter. Bellarmine, second baseman, who, as we said, is 2 for 2 on the day. He is 3 for 3 on the day. A single into right field. Up with it is McCarthy. Strong throw towards second. Skips past Lansford, but Meta there to corral it. The two leadoff batters of this inning are on board at first and second. It'll bring up shortstop Mike Glom to potentially lay down a sacrifice bunt here.
Well, pay attention, all you Little Leaguers watching at home. That is why when the coach tells you to yell out instructions as to line up the cutoff man with your base, you want to pay attention because that ball got past Lansford, but since he was lined up with third base, it went right to Meta.
And McCarthy, a good job trying to get it in there. Charging is Lieberman as he is coming at first base in place of Mark Hoff. John Lieberman in at first.
Well, now Glom is going to give you an out here if you're St. Francis, and you want to take it.
You want to take the out.
With the way that this game is going, outs are your friend.
Especially when there's only 6 of them left for Bellarmine.
There you go. 3. Got him at 3. Oh, he bobbled it.
Good coverage, though, by the Lancers. Descalzo got over there in time. You're right, he had to play at third if he came up with it cleanly, but unable to do so. The sacrifice works. Let her look at it, Case.
Well, I called the play. Sorry about that, Paul, but still a good job by St. Francis. You mentioned good coverage, but just a bit of a bobble on the mound, resulting in the only play to first base. I forgot this was your inning.
Yeah, thanks.
Sure.
Runners at, I've done that in the past too,
That's
Case.
all right.
Runners at second and third for Cameron Cole. Cole, the designated hitter. And in that role, he has put one over the outfield fence for a big fly. A solo shot back in the 4th inning. And he looks at that one and pounds it into left field. 1 run will score. Holding at third base is Sweat. It's a 9-8 ball game as Cameron Cole has a single and an RBI, his second RBI of the day. And we have a pinch hitter for Wilson. It'll be Conan the Barbarian Zoo. T-Z-O-U. You pronounce it any way you want it. Tazoo. Conan.
I'm going with Zoo.
Conan Zoo. The man is a barbarian.
And Mitch Ponzo now, the DH, is running at first base.
So we're gonna.
I don't know how that works.
It is so hard to keep track of Gary Cunningham.
Cole is the DH, so Ponzo was the one being DH'd for. There you go. He was the one being DH'd for, so the Bells do away with their designated hitter.
Though I believe, you know, you're right. That could very well be if they pinch run for him, because I thought you could re-enter your DH. But I don't know. That's.
I don't think so. I think DH
maybe
is
not. Yeah,
just
you know,
like any other position.
Well, you can re-enter in high school. Everybody's coming in. Another pinch runner.
Robbie Kedenich.
Correct. Robbie Ketanich to run at third base. And
You said it in the break, Paul. I bet the umpires hate Gary Cunningham and all of his changes.
I'm discombobulated now. I'm just going to leave it alone. We'll just check numbers as batters come up and hope that we recognize them. 1 out. Runners at the corners. The Lancers will play back up the middle for the double play. Corners will pinch in. Fake throw to third. Ketanich back and plenty of time. Cosaglow from the stretch. Pitch rides in low to Zoo. One and 0. Cosaglow checks both runners. Pitch on the way, grounded towards second. Double play ball bobbled briefly. A throw on to first by Descalzo. Records the out, but the run comes across to tie this game up. And here in the 6th inning, the Bells have pulled even yet again. We are tied at 9. And Andrew Slorp will come to the plate. Another look at it, Casey.
Well, that's the double play ball you wanted. I mean, this is tailor-made. 4-6-3, but a bobble by Descalzo erases any opportunity to get the runner at first, or get the runner at second, rather, and now an intentional walk to Cole. As in high school, you don't have to throw, or to Slorp, rather, you don't have to throw the pitches.
Well, a good play because it puts the force on. And Slorp did have the big home run, grand slam, back in the 3rd inning.
Now Matt Goodson, who has been the defensive stud for the Bells, has a chance to do some offensive damage.
And now Chris Volta will go to his bullpen yet again, and a break in the action as we'll see who comes in place of Richard Cosaglow. We are tied at 9. Chris Myers comes in for the Lancers, the right-hander, with runners at first and second. 2 outs, and he will try to get the Lancers out of the top of the 6th. Catcher Matt Goodson takes low and away, ball 1, 1 and out. As the crowd definitely into this ball game, tied at 9. Pitch right there at the knees for a strike. Count evens 1 and 1. Runner from second goes. It's grounded to Lansford. No. Runner at first refuses to run. He was a pinch runner. McCullough, who watches the ground ball go to Lansford and says, boy, that's a really nice job. And like, I got to run. So easily retired at second base. That'll do it for the Bells in the top of the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th. We are tied at 9. Bottom of the 6th inning for the Lancers. Jimmy Buckley, Josh Lansford, and Danny McCarthy. Another look at that play to end the inning.
Yeah, situation there where you saw Lansford jump into your screen at the end, and the runner at second base was going to third, and Josh assumed that the runner at first was going to be going to second, so he went over to cover, and it's a good thing he did because the ground ball went right to where he was moving to. So.
And the runner at first never ran, so it was a very easy play for Mr. Lansford.
And Josh foolishly assuming that the runner would be actually running at first base.
So what are the standings in the WCAL, Casey?
Well, funny you ask, Paul, because we have a graphic here. Archbishop Mitty atop the league at 5-0. Mitty also tied atop the CCS rankings. There you see the Bells at 3-1. The Lancers off to a shaky league start, 2-3. And I was talking to Chris Volta the other day. They still have some tough games left. One more against Sarah, both against Mitty, if I'm not mistaken. And St. Francis has an uphill battle, so the slow start in the WCAL, not to their liking.
Well, WCAL is no picnic as we come to the bottom of the 6th. 2, 3, and 4 for the Lancers. Slorp back out on the mound for the Bells. Skips that one in the dirt. Ball 1 to Jimmy Buckley.
And you got to think the Lancers need about 4 or 5 to make anybody comfortable in this one.
Pitch misses low. 2-0. Squares a zip and takes for a strike. 2-1. outside and off the glove of Goodson, and that's the first one I've seen get past Mr. Goodson today, I believe. 3-1 the count to Buckley.
Now for Jimmy Buckley, you got to look for one pitch in one spot, and that's it, because you need to get on base. And that wasn't the spot.
Up and in, ball 4. And the Lancers have their leadoff man aboard here in the bottom of the 6th.
As Gary Cunningham rolls through about 9 different possible changes he can make here on this play.
Well, he's pretty much cleared his bench with pinch runners and gone to the bullpen a couple of times.
Yeah, I haven't marked the roster, but I haven't seen a name yet that I haven't heard today. Oh, there's one. There's a couple guys over there, 3 or 4, I would say.
I think that's why in the WCAL they even put the managers in uniforms.
Yeah. Well, it depends on who the coach is, of course.
Well, that's true. 1-0 at the knees for a strike count, evens 1-1. Lansford is 1 for 1 on the day. He's also had a walk and a sac fly and an RBI to center field. Pops this one foul back out of play. 1-2 the count to Lansford. Lansford hitting a solid .478 coming into this ball game to lead the Lancers. Nobody out, runner at first base for St. Francis. Andrew Slorp from the stretch. Ripped towards second base, possible double play ball up at second for 1, down to first in time for the double play. A nice turn by Sweat to Grom to Smith. A 4-6-3.
Take a look at the replay, and that was an off-speed pitch, possibly changeup, it looked like, and Lansford was way out in front of it, got it off the end of the bat, and just nubbed it towards second base. And Josh runs well, but that was a tailor-made double play ball.
Brings up Danny McCarthy with 2 outs. Big swing and a miss by McCarthy, 0-1, and gets the crowd into it. We stay tied at 9, and now you want to do one of those games where they rush to get a lot of runs on the board and then they can't score the rest of the game. As often happens in baseball.
Often happens in a lot of sports.
They just plain get tuckered out. McCarthy is 1 for 2 on the day. Takes low for a ball, 2-1. He had a double and 2 RBIs back in the first inning. He was then hit by a pitch and came around to score, and he popped up to shortstop his last at bat. That fastball rides up and in. 3-1 the count to McCarthy. Grounded sharply to second. Sweat bobbles for a second, is up with it onto first in time to retire McCarthy, and that will do it for the Lancers in the bottom of the 6th inning. We go to what promises to be a thrill-packed 7th inning, tied at 9. Kevin Smith to lead off the top of the 7th inning for Bellarmine. Chris Myers returns to the hill for St. Francis. First pitch swinging, grounded towards the middle. Descalso has it. Long throw to first in time to retire Smith for out number 1.
Good job by Descalso. Tough play for a second baseman, tough play for any infielder where you're in between hops and you need to either back up or charge, and Descalso had to back up, which means he had to make a huge throw to first base to get the runner in time. As now Mike Groley warms up in the bullpen for St. Francis, left-hander.
Attempted bunt on the first pitch by Matt Holder. He fouls it 0-1.
Here you see Mike Groley. Mike warming up with bullpen catcher Kevin Shearstrom, so a couple former Lancer brothers, both in my class. Cheap plug.
I wasn't aware Groley was on the roster.
Yes, he is.
Pitch catches the outside corner for a strike. 0-2 the count to Matt Holder. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Down goes Holder for out number 2.
So Myers is coming in here and pitched very well for St. Francis.
Chris Myers doing a very nice job. Brings up James Rossi for the Bells. Rossi singled his last at bat, his only at bat of the game, as he came in as a replacement.
Let's go, Ross!
First pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. So Myers
has an interesting delivery. It's kind
he
of
does.
when the ball kind of rises and drops on the way to the plate. It's not really slow, but it's not terribly hard either.
But it's in the strike zone, and that's the important thing.
It's productive.
Grounded up the middle. Lansford ranges to his left. Up with it. The throw across. Pulls off John Lieberman. And Rossi is on the error. E6 on the throw.
And now we'll see some wheels turning here. If Rossi's going to stay in the game to run, I'll be surprised because he's not that quick. But
they have pinch run for him once, so if they go to the bench, he's going to have to come out. And Andrew Sweat does have one big fly on the ball game, and maybe they're thinking he won't have to run fast if he can get a hold of one. First pitch in there for a strike, 0-1.
And pointing out Myers' pitching location that's why you see a lot of ground balls, because it was coming in about belt high and then it just dips down below the batting area.
Sliced into right field and down for a base hit. McCarthy up with it clean. Throw comes in towards second. It's a snap tag by Lansford, but not in time, as diving back in is Rossi. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. The 4th hit on the day for Andrew Sweat.
Some nervous times for St. Francis, as they should be out of the inning.
And now you wonder if they would run at second base for Rossi if they have another outfielder on the roster, because they're going to pinch hit. It appears.
Pinch hit for Glom.
Because you want to make sure he can score from second on a single here in the 7th.
Yeah, if you have another outfielder that...
Pinch hitter will be Jason Matucci. Matucci usually a starter for the Bells.
Now a lefty, Matucci, coming off the bench, and a lefty, Groley, warming up in the bullpen. We'll see if they go to Groley or not.
Matucci hitting .391 on the year. He has no home runs, a couple of triples, 7 doubles. He's got 11 RBIs. So a good man to bring up in this situation. It's a lefty-righty. 2 outs, runners at first and second. First pitch to Matucci in there for a strike, 0-1.
That has got some wicked movement to it.
And that's what you want, is your bullpen to come in and throw strikes, and a nice job by Chris Myers, as he's been getting ahead of every batter. This one's grounded slowly
Tough play.
towards short. Lansford up with it, goes the short way in time to retire Sweat. That will do it for the Bells in the top of the 7th. We go to the bottom of the 7th. We're tied at 9. J.J. Barcy, Daniel Descalzo, and Mike Ribeiro scheduled for the Lancers here in the bottom of the 7th as they try to score 1 and go home. First pitch curveball in there for a strike to Barcy, 0-1. On the corner, 0-2.
There's the shift.
And there they move. Second base way over, shortstop up the middle, and the pitch comes way outside. It's almost like you just just take that pitch off, just completely. 1-2 the count.
And Slorp doesn't even wait for his outfielders to get back into position. As he's ready, they're still jogging.
Barcy offers, but doesn't go around. He held up. Count evens 2-2.
JJ needs to work hard and put a ball in play. He's got good speed.
Slorp with the fastball delivery. Barcy pops it back out of play towards Cars.
And you hear it all the time, Paul. You have speed, and speed does crazy things to an infielder, because You see a ground ball coming towards you. It's coming slowly, and all of a sudden you remember, oh man, that guy's fast, and a lot of things go wrong. So Jonathan's just got to put one in play here, see if anything can happen.
Lifted high and deep to left field. Way back and out of here. J.J. Barcy puts it out on the basketball court, and this ball game is over. Barcy rounds third, makes his way towards home plate where it will be a mob scene. And in the bottom of the 7th inning, Barcy comes up huge for the Lancers.
Well, we knew off the bat that it was a shot, and all it had to do was get some distance, and that ball was clear by a mile.
Well, and he knew it was going to come down to something like that, Casey. There's your line score for the Lancers. 10 runs on 15 hits, 1 error. For the Bells, 9 runs on 13 hits, 1 error. And a hard-fought game. The Lancers desperately needed to win, and they come away with one here at Higgins Field today. That will do it for us here on this broadcast. My thanks to Casey McGuire. For all of us here at KMBT, I'm Paul Cunningham. We'll see you next time.